Welcome to the SBT Energy Therapy podcast. You will be listening to Laura Lopez and Jamie O'Shea performing live energy healing sessions on guests. We believe the shares and wisdom in this episode will support you as well.
We're excited. Let's get started. Welcome to the SBT Energy Therapy podcast. I'm Laura Lopez, and today we have here Jamie O'Shea.
Hello, listeners. We're so glad you are here. We have one of our such lovely, wonderful, amazing guests. Her name is Shirley. Shirley, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you are, age, all the good stuff.
Awesome. So I'm Shirley. I'm 38 and I currently reside in the beautiful state of Utah. Yeah.
Utah is such a great place. I love the mountains there. How long have you been there?
So I was born in Guatemala, but came here when I was 3. And yeah, but I'm basically from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shirley, we'd like to ask you before we get started a couple questions here. First one is, do you believe in a higher power? And if so, what do you call that higher power?
Yes, for sure. I believe in a higher power. It doesn't matter. God, source, mama and papa, whatever. But yeah, I believe in a higher power.
Any chance you have, and there's no right answer here, a belief or a relationship with Jesus Christ?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Great, because we may bring him in, and I just want to make sure you're comfortable with that.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, great. And then the next question we have is that if we could help heal or shift one thing in your life that would drastically improve it, what would that be?
I would definitely want to go back into my healing practice. So I opened up a practice and then put it on the side as I was trying to figure out some life things. And I just feel really called to go back into that. So
I love it. I love it. As healing practitioners, as business owners, let's just call it that, right? And entrepreneurship, it's tough. And so many of us, and myself included, the average business owner, the average entrepreneur has 3 businesses before they find a successful one. And sometimes that's the same business, sometimes that's different businesses. And being a healing practitioner means that you're an entrepreneur, and that's exactly the typical course of an entrepreneur. We come in, we go out, we come in, we go out before it finally lands and hits. And as an entrepreneur, I'm excited to work on this with you and for you. I'd like to ask for our followers. Some of our followers and listeners will have remembered us doing a live session, a Courts of Heaven session for you, clearing financial and abundance blocks a year ago. And there were some comments on there where they asked, how is she doing now? How did that go? So would you like to share anything about the last year and that initial intention about clearing those financial blocks, what you've experienced and where you're at today?
yeah, definitely. So financial money comes and goes. I'm still in a rut there, but I think we were clearing abundance, right? And at my work, I've been able to move up in different areas. And so I actually know sign language. And so I'm an ASL interpreter at work. I speak Spanish as well. And I will actually interpret for Spanish groups, English groups, and ASL, as well as helping out managerial things and growing in that area. One of the things that I really didn't realize that I struggled with was actually talking to people. So I lost my girlfriend to suicide January 22nd of 2020. And part of that was I closed myself off to everybody, literally everybody, because it's just scary to open up your heart to love. And that doesn't mean like relationship love, friendship love, like service love, any type of love. I closed myself off to all of it. And so part of the abundance that we removed was being able to learn how to speak to people and see people and help them and guide them and love them and encourage them. Because I work at a warehouse job, which isn't the most prettiest thing, most dazzling thing. And so all walks of life come in, and I've been able to have a relationship with different types of people. And I smile at them when I can, and they know my name and I know their name. And so that was one of the bigger gifts, was learning how to speak to people and actually see people.
Yeah, it sounds like you got an abundance of people, all the different types. And it's awesome you have all the different tools to communicate with them. How many people do a sign language? That's beautiful. I love that you have all those avenues open to you.
Yeah.
So I just want to acknowledge your journey for a little bit because I feel like a lot of people go through similar paths, right? Where they may struggle in one particular area and we'll just call it finances, right? Like we have a lot of people who are just struggling with finances. But as you said, we're clearing abundance blocks because when we are oftentimes struggling with finances, we're also struggling with abundance in other areas of our life, relationships, love, connection, opportunities, right? And so it just so happens that when our finances are struggling at times, it's the loudest, right? And people focus on that. But the reality is that's not it alone. It is the abundance. And so here it is, we clear these abundance blocks. And then, even though your business of your energy healing practitioner business was put on the back burner, you went and developed all these other skills and these relationships. And I really want to give a shout out because I don't have a lot of healing practitioners in our community that speak Spanish. So, this is a gift that you have that our other practitioners don't have. And I absolutely do not have one that speaks sign language. And so let me make sure that I understand correctly. You have the ability to communicate and do energy healing sessions in sign language. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's the gift that because Kayla was my girlfriend and she's deaf. And so we were together for 6 years. And through that, sorry, the biggest gift that she gave me was to learn how to communicate with people in sign language. And for me, my greatest joy is actually signing. And so with her loss, what got me into energy healing was this is an avenue that most people don't know about. I had no idea about any of this. It was basically thrown into my lap. And I know a lot of deaf people that are struggling, that don't have resources or avenues or a way to heal. And a lot of it starts from actually childhood. And I know these things and there's certain things, and so I'm here to help. That's my only mission is to help. I want to help. I want to help. And I can't lose another person like that.
I know we're here to do a session on you, but I just want to invite our listeners. Let's tell them, because you have this gift and this ability, right? If someone right now comes to me that either needs a Spanish speaking practitioner or someone who speaks sign language, I currently don't have that option yet. What do you do? What gifts do you have? If someone came to you for a session, what do you do?
How I do it, or
what are your modalities that you use?
Modalities. So I'm currently certified in all of the emotion codes, like motion code, body code, and the belief code is where I'm starting. There's obviously more resources. Like I want to apprentice under you for sure, learning everything that we're going to do today. That just blows my mind. So I'm still working with things under my tool belt, but that's definitely what I do. So everything under the body code systems right now.
Well, you're more than qualified to help people identify energetic, emotional, and belief blocks with those 3 certifications. You're above and beyond most practitioners that are certified out there. And I know you personally, and I know your gifts. And I also remember a couple of years ago, you said you specifically want to work with individuals who are suffering from suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a tough niche, so to speak. There's a lot of darkness there. There's also, we have negative entities, we have addiction, we have withdrawal. This is the darkest of the darkest places. And to know that you're willing to walk into the depths of hell with someone to help pull them out in this work is just, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, for me, I've been there. I was going to take my life back in 2015. So I know the depths of hell. I know the depths of hell. And I know that there's a way out. And I know these things. It's part of my tool belt where I go, there's still times that I still struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts, still, even though I know the outcome of what could potentially happen. However, it's please hold on, please still stay. Like it's just the thoughts that you're wanting to end. It's not actually your life. And so I can sit there and I can remind you of who you are because I can tell you, I'll show you. And so, yeah, suicide is my niche, PTSD, child sexual abuse as well, any type of abuse as well. It's darkness is my strong suit, which is silly to say, but it is. Darkness is my strong suit.
Fellow practitioner, I need you in this
Mm.
world. You have this desire to come back to your healing practice, and I have this desire to do everything I can in my power to make that happen. And as a result of that, I'm going to offer right now, this is my gift to the world. Okay. We have a network of healers that when people decide that they want to come for a session, they go on matchwithahealer.com, and I tap into their subconscious to identify which healing practitioner is in their highest and greatest good. And so, what I would like to do, if you would like to receive it, is to offer you at no additional charge 1 year of being in the network so that people who need Spanish speaking practitioner, who need sign language, who are struggling with this, it's not just my gift to you, it's my gift to the world to have you be a part of the network at no charge, because I can't cater to those individuals, but you can. You don't have to give that answer right now, but that would allow us to open up to those who need you. So,
What a nice gift that is, too, right? Such a
yeah.
beautiful gift. So let's clear any blocks that are keeping her from getting back into it. Clear any other blocks because, yeah, I can hear as you're speaking, I can hear it. Oh, this is what we needed to do to get the ball rolling. This was the catalyst right here. And sometimes it's so simple, Shirley, just to get in conversation and communicate again.
Thank you for loving me both.
So good.
Yeah, thank you for being you. For those that are listening that are not watching, we've touched on some emotions for Shirley. She's feeling all the feels, which is, I'm feeling the love, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to do this work. I'm grateful to have this platform of a network of healers where we can, yeah, we as healing practitioners fulfill our purpose when we're serving others. And yes, of course, we have to do the work ourselves for ourselves. That's true. But at the end of the day, the reality is some people were born to serve others, right? We can pull our gene key report, our human design report, astrology reports. We can pull so many things that identify that there are some of us who are natural born leaders, natural born teachers, natural born healing practitioners, and that it is, we are designed to step into that is what we're born to do. And I have no doubt that this is what Shirley was born to do, and that all of her life experiences are just paving the path to not her, just her own healing and her own experiences, but to help and contribute to healing for others. Okay, before we get started with the prayer in this session, any thoughts or questions or comments before we go forward?
Just lots of gratitude. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. After we're done recording this, at some point in time when you have time, we'll need your picture, your bio.
Oh, I gotta get a headshot. All right.
Yeah. And we'll get you up on the website so that people can start being matched with you. I'm excited to have you in the network.
Thank you.
Yeah, so welcome. Jimmy, you got anything?
No, I think it's great. I think sometimes this is just a catalyst, right? I can already feel the energy and motion heading towards Shirley. So I hope we'll get cleaned up and ready for it because I can already feel it going, oh, okay. Oh, she's going to be open for business? Okay. Because it's been a rough year for many people and
Yeah.
being familiar with the darkness, not only being familiar with the darkness, but not being scared of it, knowing how to
Yeah.
maneuver it and realizing that it's just another form of light.
Yeah.
Is there's not, I wouldn't say there's not enough people, but it definitely usually people need an extra push to understand that. And it's nice that you're already like, no, I know how to maneuver. I know how
Yeah.
to maneuver. So I already feel the beans like lining up coming towards you right now. So it's going to be good stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It is exciting. Yeah, that you'll have to think about all that yeah, when clients come in when you want to serve them. And yeah, this is great stuff. Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
We're going to first say a prayer. Jamie and I have already muscle tested who is in your highest and greatest good. And for whatever reason, your highest self has elected me, which I feel so honored to start with this opening prayer and also to go into the session. And I'm going to utilize the times in which I'm transmuting energy or clearing energy for Jamie to really help me to explain to our listeners the things that we're finding, that we're identifying, as well as providing a shield. One of Jamie's gifts is shielding, and that she's very good at that. And so I'm going to ask that she help us in doing that. When we're ready, closing the eyes, nice big deep breath. I invite all of our listeners to know that although this prayer is for Shirley, channeled by her highest self, if her story resonates with you, and if there is something here that you feel you likewise are experiencing, I invite you to come through the motions with us. Energy is not bound by space or time. And when we heal ourselves and we take this ability to help contribute to the healing of others, we heal the world. And we have 3 of us here with the collective interest of helping to contribute to the healing of the world. And so I invite us all, those who are listening, those who are receiving, and especially us 3, to take a deep breath and open up our hearts with the intention of receiving. While we are receiving, I ask that our crown chakra, about 6 inches above our head, be completely open, allowing us to receive divine wisdom, allowing us to be open to consciousness from our divine source of love and abundance in every direction. And I ask now that the angelic realm be opened on behalf of Shirley. I call in her heavenly hosts and her angels. I call in the essence and the spirit of Kayla and her love. I call in our guides, and I call in Shirley's highest self, the highest version of her, that which is peace, that which is love, that which is wisdom, the highest version of her which has been guiding her every step of the way. And I ask that this highest self of Shirley, which I call her spirit, will communicate with my spirit. I ask that every word that we speak be governed by truth, be governed by love. And I ask that regardless of the limitations of our own personal thoughts, wants, preferences, or desires, only truth be revealed and nothing be hidden. I ask that we will be guarded and protected from all false beliefs and deceptive thought patterns. And I call out all negative energies, all negative entities, and all low vibrational beings, all of those which seek to deceive, which seek to manipulate or take advantage. I call out all energetic vampires. I call out all doubt, all fear, all insecurity. I call out avoidance. I call out any limitations or separation or disconnection. I call out all withdrawal. I call out all hesitancy. I call out all low vibrational frequency energies that may be preventing Shirley from stepping into her divine purpose, standing in her sovereignty, and to creating the business and the practice that will allow her to magnify her callings or fulfill her purpose here on this planet. And I cast you out. I cast you out back to the kingdom of which you belong. You are no longer welcome here. And the space in which you held can only be replaced with peace, can only be replaced with fulfillment, with abundance, with love, with clarity of mind. And I call in your angels and your heavenly hosts to unlock any and all blessings and or inheritance in heaven that are yours to be bestowed upon you. And I invite you in your next breath within your mind to say, I receive. Take a deep breath and receive. Breathe it in. Breathe it in on a cellular level. Breathe in the peace. Breathe in the excitement. Breathe in the passion. Breathe in the abundance. Breathe in the assistance that is being laid before you to allow you to fully step into your purpose and experience harmony, not only in your relationships, but in your heart, in your mind, and in your life. That allow the people who need your services, who need your gifts, to be brought to you in a natural and easy way, and for you to be provided for on both sides of the veil. I invite you to have your feet solid on the ground. Allow your souls to be connected to the abundance of Mother Earth, remembering that, as the scriptures say, this earth was made for you. This earth was made for man, and God gave man dominion over it. Man, woman, I don't care about the gender. That's not what I'm focusing on here. What I'm saying is this earth was made for us. Everything that we need, all of the resources, all of the time, all of the abundance is available to us. I invite you to allow yourself to consider that all of the potential clients, all of the time, all of the aha moments, all of the understanding for marketing that may be needed, how to make transitions out of this job into your practice are all available to you. I invite you to stand in the knowingness and the belief that they're all right here, right now. Our job as God co-creators is to align ourselves with the belief, to align ourselves with the knowingness, because it is not what we want. Want only creates more want. Desire only creates more desire. When we have this vibration of desire of something outside of ourselves, it is something that we continue to recreate. You are the walking magnet. So I ask you, within your breath and within your heart, to bring in a knowingness, to bring in going beyond faith, not just a belief in something unseen, but a knowingness. I invite you to see your practice in the way that allows you to magnify your callings and fulfill your purpose, as well as to provide for those who are in need, who cannot afford your services, and those who can afford your services. Allow the abundance to come in all ways. Allow yourself to see yourself here, whether that's as a full-time healing practitioner or a part-time healing practitioner, whatever it is that best resonates for you, see it and know that it is here. And know that there is nothing stopping you from receiving that which is in your highest and greatest good. I called these things in. And I ask that all of the blocks or limitations that prevent Shirley from receiving it be revealed in a natural and easy way. And I asked to know, is there anything else needed in this prayer before moving forward? And the answer to that is no. And I ask now, as I tap into our charts here, to identify the first block or imbalance preventing Shirley from receiving these things and moving directly into creating her practice in the way in which she sees within her mind's eye. And the answer to that is yes. And the first thing that's coming up is in the distortions of self, is a limiting belief. Give me a second. Jamie, if you got anything that you're feeling, go ahead.
I just wanted to remind those that are listening, when we talk about shields, what we're doing is we're putting energy around us that's protective. So as Laura was doing the prayer, that's what I was doing, is setting up that protective energy from anything that's adverse or would want Shirley to fail, right? Or beings that want to distract us, that take us away from who we really are. There's these things that happen that bring in fear and doubt and all the lower vibrational frequencies. So when you shield, we are creating that bubble essentially between us, which we were asked to bring in the color of pink, which I thought was really beautiful, because when you look up the color of pink, it's meant to bring in love, compassion, and emotional healing. And it was almost the same pink as what you have on right now.
I know, I don't even have pink. This is my only pink thing. And I was
So
like,
good.
"Ah," I'm like, it's comfy. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Like,
It's-
how random.
I know. So it's like regarding your heart chakra energy, where you're nurturing your relationships, fostering self-love, and creating a sense of warmth. Oh, I thought that was really beautiful to be bringing that in for the three of us to be vibrating in today. And shielding can be done with any color. We can bring in any color as necessary. If you don't have any idea what the colors mean, we actually have that in the SBT Energy Therapy app. But fallback, a good fallback is always that white, silvery, golden light, the divine consciousness that's associated with the crown chakra. That's always a easy to bring in strength and healing.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So the first thing that's coming up is a limiting belief. And I don't know that I fully understand it, nor do I have to, but I'm going to say it. And then I have the affirmation that is needed to transmute it. So when we transmute energy, we bring in either, as Jimmy was just saying, a color, because a color has frequencies, and the pink is love, for instance. And sometimes it's an affirmation, and sometimes it's a positive emotion. So in this case, it's a positive emotion. But first, the limiting belief is, I wish I had a higher knowingness. And I don't know what that means to you. It first came up in the charts as, I wish I had higher morals. And I was like, okay, how accurate is that? And it wasn't really on point. So I asked, can you give it to me in another way that is more accurate? And it was like, I wish I had a higher knowingness. I'm not sure if that means anything to you. It's just energy. We don't always have to understand it. We can just clear it. But it may help to hear the affirmation that's being brought in to see if where this might resonate is, I trust in my ability to create a life filled with joy and purpose. So the affirmation makes sense to me based on what was being revealed in the prayer, which is to really stand in your knowingness, and what that makes sense to me. Do you have any thoughts or questions before we bring in the energy of this affirmation?
I think with the I wish I had a higher knowingness. So I've told you guys before where I basically in my healing journey, I've heard voices and I've helped people along the way and things like that, which happened 3 times in the same year. And then it just went silent. And so I think for me, that's on the point. Like that hits the nose for me.
Oh, I get that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just went radio silent. And so I'm like, then I was crazy. I'm like, then what was that? Then what are these shenanigans? I'm like, oh man. But yeah, so that makes sense. That makes sense to
You're
me.
being asked to trust what you
Mhm.
already know is possible. You already know it's possible. So then there's more for you.
Okay, let's bring this in for you and our listeners, because I also want to take this opportunity to recognize we have what's called collective limiting beliefs, right? And yes, we ourselves as individual can have a limiting belief, but these limiting beliefs are compounded or magnified or made bigger by the belief of the collective. So if Shirley has this belief, others have this belief. She's not the only one. We're all collectively part of the collective consciousness. And so in these podcasts, as we're all listening and we're transmuting these limiting beliefs, we can do this not only for Shirley, but we can do this for the world. And we can help to assist in transmuting these limiting beliefs and bringing in these affirmations for all the listeners, right? And so I invite everyone who's listening to breathe in and to follow these guidance that I'll be giving to us for us to follow. This lack of potential trust, I wish I had a higher knowingness, right? I invite you to close your eyes, and I invite you to find this space in the body where you may not have full trust, where you may not have the full belief that you have the ability to create a life filled with joy and purpose. So close your eyes and use the breath coming in through the nose, in through the sinuses, breathing nice and deep. And as you breathe deep, follow the breath in through the sinuses, down the throat, into the lungs and the rib cage, and find the space that does not fully expand or fully relax. It's the space where the breath does not seem to fully go. It's the space that seems a little bit closed off or a little bit of a void. That seems a little difficult to get the full breath in. And as you scan it through your chest, you then see if you can't find it there, then you move it down lower into the diaphragm, the solar plexus. And then if you can't find it there, you move the breath even lower. Is it in the belly? And on the inhale, are you able to fully expand your hips? Are you able to feel the hip stretch on the inhale and move all the way down into your root chakra? And then on the exhale, fully relax. The space that may not fully expand or fully relax may be in the neck or the shoulders. It may be in the lungs, the rib cage, maybe the diaphragm, maybe the mid back, the lower back, might be the hips, might be the root chakra. What we're doing is using the breath, which is the prana, it is your life force energy, to clean out the stagnant energy, to clear out the part that's stuck or not fully expanding. And on the exhale, letting that tension go, letting go of the spaces that it feels the need to lock down or not fully expand. And so in this moment, throughout the mind and the body and the energy field, throughout all of the systems throughout the body, on the cellular level, we ask that if there's any part of you that is still holding on to this wishing or longing or disconnection of a higher knowingness, let it be filled and replaced with a trust in your ability to create the life that you want, filled with joy and filled with purpose. And we're just going to be quiet for just a moment as we allow the body to fully integrate this. When I ask if this is done, the answer is no. So we're going to take a moment here to ask if there's any associations, which I don't like to should on myself, but I should have checked that first. So are there any associations? And the answer to that is no. So if there's no associations, I'm going to ask if there's any resistance to this. And the answer to that is yes. And so sometimes when something is not fully released or transmuted or cleared, there could be several reasons. It could be because there's an association that we didn't find, or in this case, there is resistance, which I know consciously everybody who is here is saying, of course, I want to have trust in my ability to create a life filled with joy and purpose. Our brains, of course, think that. But on the subconscious level, there may be resistance. And if it wasn't that, I would have asked if this is just a choice. Does Shirley just really need, and I would have used some of masculine energy. Come on, Shirley, just make the choice. You can do this, but it's not that. So we're just going to ask, there's a subconscious resistance here? And the answer to that is yes. So what is the subconscious resistance? Shirley, is there already something that comes to mind, resistance to this? If I ask you, do you know it consciously? Not,
No,
nothing's popping in mind. Okay.
no.
Which is why we do energy work, right?
Yeah.
If you were sitting in a therapist's office and had to think about it and talk about it, you'd be like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing that's coming up is a memory cloud. You told me you are 38 years young. Okay. So let's see. When was
Thanks.
You're so welcome. 38 years young. When was this memory cloud originating from? Jamie, if you want to explain a memory cloud and what it does.
Sure. Memory clouds, typically we find those in front of somebody's third eye. Although in my experience, I've found them in front of the solar plexus before. I found them in front of the sacral. They're like that dense, heavy energy seems to keep staying just slightly in front of you, right? Blocking you from going all the way through. So I can see why this is creating resistance to you being able to receive the full on trust, right? It's heavy, it's dense, we know it, and you simply move it to the back. We have to clear the associations to it too. And like Laura said, in age sometimes is really helpful to find out and makes you go, oh yeah, I remember what happened there. And you get stuck in that. It's exactly what it sounds like if you ask me, a cloud blocking your view, blocking your vision, blocking your future coming through.
It was at age 24. So we've cleared that. There was no associations. That's a perfect example. But we're going to ask if there's any other resistance to trusting in your ability to create a life filled with joy and purpose. And the answer to that is yes. The next one here is a limiting aversion. Jamie, will you explain what a limiting aversion is for me?
Sure. For our listeners, limiting aversions, taking the word averse, something that you are actually resistant to. Once again, it makes sense if she's finding resistance to bringing in this trust. There is something that's actually creating a dislike. It's an extreme avoidance or a dislike. It can be like a relationship circumstance that you could normally see as pleasurable. For some reason, it's not coming through that way for you. And we create a negative association to those. Sometimes those need to be cleared just the same as a belief would be. Symptoms can be avoidance, can be anxiousness, emotional reactivity, feeling overwhelmed, headaches, phobias, inability to focus, good old self-sabotage. Those are some great behaviors.
Yep, that sounds all yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know that this totally makes sense, but that's what happens in this work, right? Like it doesn't need to make sense. I just need to do what I'm told. I just go where I'm guided. Let me measure the percentage of accuracy of this really fast here. It's only 53%. So I'm going to say it and then I'm going to clean it out. 53% means not real great. So this is a limiting aversion of others wanting me to do things. And so I'm still trying to find this. Give me a second.
others wanting me to do things.
Oh, whoa. Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't know why it's making me giggle. Surely, have you ever felt like your highest self was guiding you, or God or source was guiding you a certain way, and you were like, no, I don't want to do that?
Probably. I'm like, or again, like hearing those voices that did direct me to specific people, I must be crazy.
Yeah. So this is it, right? It's like the guidance that's given, there's a limiting, it's not other people, it's like the guidance that comes in from your highest self or source or whatever you want to call it. There's an aversion to it. So either creating self sabotage or an inability to focus or fatigue or feeling overwhelmed or avoidance or anxiousness. That's what this is. Does that
Mhm.
resonate with you?
Oh yeah, 100%. And actually thinking about it too, what was I gonna say? Not stopped thinking, but basically just silenced my brain to anything, if that makes sense. Because it was like I don't know if I was creating stories or what. And so I thought, I want to stop doing that. And so I just stopped.
You close the doors.
Yeah.
You said, I'm no longer open for spiritual business here.
No, because for me, it seemed like, I'll be honest, it seems like it's me making things up just to get like a dopamine hit. I don't know if that makes sense, but
This makes sense, but if you're
okay.
okay with it, I'd like you to explain it so that the listeners, because this is common. So,
Yeah.
and
So,
we don't talk about this enough. So if you
um,
could share.
yeah. So I definitely have ADHD, my poor parents. Anyways, but part of that is you're always seeking for a thought or something to allow your brain to be in a state of that dopamine hit thing. And because when I did hear those voices and I did help those people, then it was like that big rush. And it's like my brain all of a sudden started thinking more. And for me, I didn't believe that it was God speaking to me or my highest source speaking to me. It's me making that up.
Okay. This is really important here, Shirley. Like, so important. I can't,
Okay.
I have a network of healers and students, and I don't think that there's one of them that hasn't at some point in time thought, am I crazy?
Yeah.
There's so many thoughts that are so similar to this. Am I crazy? Is this real? Am I making this up? I literally just had the same conversation yesterday with another healing practitioner and client. And when we talk about things like courts of heaven, or literally we can hear a voice of someone else, like we're hearing the voices that someone else is thinking as we're walking in the park or we're in a social event, right? And of course we have been trained that this is crazy, like we have lost our effing minds, right?
Yeah.
And but are you willing to share one story so that we can see? Here's how I always ask people to do it: judge it by the fruits of your labor. If the manifestation of our crazy is negative, then we need to really look at ourselves and go, okay, what's happening here? And why am I being led down this path? And where are these voices coming from? And so on and so forth. But if the evidence, if the fruit of what we have experienced is positive, then and it has helped someone or helped ourselves or created what one would call a divine miracle or an answer to somebody's prayers, then who cares how crazy it is? And let's just do it. Let's be the crazy person who hears the voice and follows the prompting and acts on it and becomes the answer to that person's prayers. So, can you share so that our listeners can measure of how do we define crazy, right? And how do we
Yeah.
define making things up versus the actionable evidence of the experience and come to a conclusion on our own? Can you give me an example?
Yeah. All right. So I am not your typical person. I love music. I love to go dancing. My previous life and my choices, I was a big partier and things like that. And I went to a rave. I bought a 2-day ticket festival and I went to this rave. And I do have my medical card here for the cannabis. And so I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna go and just have fun. I went the first day and it was super boring. And it was fun, whatever, but I went by myself. And so I decided to not go the second day because I was like, I'm not going to go, like, whatever. And so I didn't. I had a friend that I haven't seen since we were both 10 years old reach out to me and say, hey, I saw you there. Would you want to join me and my husband and our friends to go the second night? And I'm usually like, no, I don't want to go talk to people. But I was like, okay, yeah, I will go. Yes, I will be brave. I'm going to take some gummies and I'm just going to go and have a hoot of a time. And so I walked into the festival and I went and found my friend and we started talking. And then the DJ starts going and the music's loud and we're dancing. And when all of a sudden I felt, so we were like in a booth. And the way to get into the booth was you had to walk behind me and come into this like little area, and that was our booth. So I'm standing there, we're like dancing and listening to music when all of a sudden I feel someone walk right behind me, come into our booth, and I hear, tell her the little girl inside of her is so proud of her. And I was like, I'm high as balls. We're here dancing. Like, I don't know who this person is. No, I'm not going to do that. Ignored it. I kept dancing. The music was great and it's a great time and whatever. And so, like, dancing, whatever. When my friend brings this girl over, and again, I hear, tell her now. And I'm looking at her like, and I'm looking at her like, who is talking to me? I'm like, no, I'm crazy. This is me just thinking everything up. No, I'm not. No. And I refused. And I said, no, I'm not going to. So we keep dancing or whatever. And there was another DJ playing at a different scenario, like a different stage. And so that girl was like, I'm going to go. I'm not sure when I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys around, and start saying bye to everybody. And as she's starting to walk out, I hear, tell her now. And I was like, oh, she's going to think I'm crazy. I'm like, okay, fine. So I grab her wrist and I grab her wrist and I look at her and she looked at me and I'm like, I'm like, hi. And she knew that I was high. And I was like, hi. I'm like, what's up, girl? And she's, hey, I'm like, hey, so I got to tell you something. I'm like, and you're gonna think I'm so crazy. I'm like, I don't know why I need to tell you this. And so I like grabbed her and in her ear, I said, I don't know why you need to hear this, but you need to know that the little girl inside of you is so proud of you. And she starts crying. And so I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I'm such an asshole. I'm like, here we are, like here to party and have a good time and dance. And here I am making this random girl cry. I've never seen her before. I've never met her before. And so as she's crying, I'm like, I guess the next best thing is to hug her. And so I grabbed her and I hug her, and immediately I see she's there to dance for the last time. She's going home to kill herself, and her parents are going to find her in the morning. And so out of my mouth, I just said, I know you're going home to kill yourself tonight. Please don't. And she starts wailing and crying and saying, how did you know? How did you know? How did you know? I didn't know. I wasn't supposed to be there. I had plans with other friends. Like, I wasn't supposed to be there. And I hugged her and I stayed with her, and I was hugging her, and as I was closing my eyes, I could see her spirit and my spirit. And my spirit was trying to be like, here's love. This is what love feels like, because I just lost someone to suicide. And so I know what that pain is like. And I was like telling her, like giving her my story, like, hey, I lost my girlfriend to suicide. Like, and I started shaking. My body just started shaking. And she's, what's going on? I was like, I want you to feel this. I'm like, you need to feel this. I'm like, because this is the pain that's left over. I'm like, from Kayla's choice. I'm like, you don't want to do this. I don't know who you are. I'm like, I've come here as an answer to a prayer. I'm like, to your parents, to your siblings, to your friends. And I'm like, I don't know you. And she's looking at me, and we're both looking at her like, we don't know each other, but we know each other. And I kept telling her, like, you're worthy. Like, I'm sure there's painful things that are happening to you right now. And she told me, like, her series of what was happening. And for whatever reason, it always happens in threes. I don't know why, but it's always in threes. And so it was like, lost a job. I think her grandmother died. I don't remember everything that she told me, but just reminding her and telling her. And when I would close my eyes, because I would open my eyes and I would talk to her and tell her these things, and I would hug her again, I'd close my eyes and I could see like her spirit and my spirit finally meshing together. And when I finally saw us in union, I gave her a blessing. And I told her, I was like, oh my, I want to bless you with the gift of seeing light in the smallest of moments. I'm like, I know right now you're consumed and this is darkness, and I get it. I understand. I'm like, but I just need you to hold on to that little speck of light. That's still you. That's still there. And for me, that was a moment that changed everything for me. I'll tell one more story. Sorry, one more story. So fast forward a couple months later, I'm walking through. So my sister asked me to go walk her dogs, and I was living up north, and they were living down south. And I was like, oh, I don't have time. Like, I don't want to. Sorry, sister. I love you. I didn't have time, and so I was like, "Ugh, fine. So I was like, yeah. I'm like, I'll do it. So the morning I wake up, my phone breaks. Like things just weren't happening right that day. And so by the time that I was going to go down to my parents' house to walk the dogs, it was just really late, and I didn't want to. And I was like, okay, let me just eat food. I'm like, because I get really hangry. Let me eat food, change my attitude, and go walk my precious fur nieces. And I go to the park, and my parents' house is in front of a park, and there's a hill. And the path that we go always is you walk up the hill, go around, and then go back to my parents' house. So I'm walking the dogs, and I see a person sitting on a bench with their hood up, and I could hear them crying. And I was like, "Ugh, I'm just not my business. I'm just going to keep walking." So I'm walking the dogs. And for whatever reason, instead of turning right, I turned left. And I turned left, and 5 seconds into it, I hear, turn around and make sure they're okay. And I was like, okay, I recognize that voice. Okay, let's go. And so I turn around and I go to this person, and their hood is up. And I asked them, like, hey, I'm like, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I'm looking at the dogs. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm like, these are actually emotional support dogs. Like they keep pulling me to you. Are you sure you're okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm like, I'm going to try one more time. And so I got down on my knees because she was on the bench, and I got down on my knees and I looked up at her and I said, I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, but if you're thinking about taking your life, please don't. I lost someone really dear to me to suicide. Please don't do that. And she pulls off her hood and she says, my husband killed himself 2 months ago. So those are my stories that I have. And that's what's called me into this work, because I understand, I get it. I get the darkness, I get those things, but those voices, I was like, no, there's no way. I'm crazy. So there you go.
The whole time you were telling both your stories, Shirley, I'm just getting these waves of hits of energy just waving through me. That's when the truth is coming through. And we get that sensation and that feeling. It's hard to ignore.
Mhm.
Thank goodness you could hear them. Thank goodness you got the message and were brave enough to do it. I think a lot of us get messages and then we don't know what to do with it and think the same thing, that we're just crazy. But
Yeah.
those voices, when that came into you, although the ones that were getting loud and telling you now, right? For
Yeah.
the most part, it came in that wasn't scary, was it?
No, it was quiet and peaceful. And I think that's the differentiation is it's the peace. You have to feel that peace and you go, oh, okay, this must be something. And for me, like I struggled a lot with that because I grew up in a very religious background where we're taught like it's the men that hold the keys, it's the men that can hear things and do things and act. And also another thing is I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community. Like I'm the lowest of the low. Like how am I supposed to even been hearing any of these things or receiving any of these things? And like my worth, like I've struggled with my worthiness, but it goes, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that matters. You
Right.
are worthy now, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of what you've done. None of that matters. When you're needed, you are needed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for me, like I've learned that my life isn't for me. It's never been for me. And I know people are like, no, Shirley, you should like really work on yourself. Bro, I've been doing that for 5 years. No, I know, but I'm here for everybody else because everything that I have gone through from being a victim of oral sex at one to Kayla dying, like everything that I have gone through, my story is for someone else. My story is to give hope to somebody else. And so everything that we're going through, every single person watching this or listening to this, like I need you to know your life is so worth living. Please stay. You don't know like everything that you're going through. Like it's your warrior story for somebody else because you're going to meet someone randomly at a rave, in a park. Like it doesn't matter. You're going to meet someone that is going to look at you and you're going to recognize something and you know that you're there for them. Like
Yep.
we're here for each other.
Yep.
We're here to love each
Exactly.
other and support each other. And, do we judge? Yeah, sometimes the 5 seconds like, oh, and you're just like, okay, no, surely come back. Like it can do the same to you. But it doesn't matter. It's we're here to love. Like for me, that's what I'm here for is just to love, is to love,
Yeah. So true.
love.
And I love that you recognize that when the higher self comes in, it's peace,
It's peace.
calm. There's no
Yeah.
judgment. There's no
Mm-mm.
criticism. There's that's stuff the lower self is doing. The
Yeah.
higher self is not doing that.
Mhm.
So for people that are listening and do get those inclinations and they hear those things to differentiate that the higher self is loving and peaceful and calm
Yeah.
and hit you like a wave
Yeah.
of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's so
Yeah. You're
beautiful. Thank you
welcome.
so much.
You're
the
welcome.
the ripple effect of this, I can feel it and see it, and it's so amazing. I can't thank you enough for sharing, and I hope you'll share it often. And then the next question is, and you can say no if you're not ready. Are you ready to turn it back on?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. So we're going to clear this limiting belief or this limiting aversion to the voices. And
I'm not schizophrenic. I have a good head on my shoulders. I have a background in software engineering and a background in psychology. Thank you very much.
But I just have to say, like,
okay.
while you were talking about resistance, I was testing some of that like percentage of the belief and everything. And it's like the unfeeling was what was in your way. So you sharing those stories, all that feeling just came rushing back in, which is great because
Yeah, I could feel it in my chest where I was like, oh, that's what I needed. I just needed to talk about it.
yeah,
Yeah. I
your
felt the
unfeeling was
whole
blocking
shift.
you.
I was like, oh, I just need to be quiet. She's doing it right now. It's all happening right now. Okay. I trust in my ability to create a life filled with joy and purpose. Let's see here. We're going to do another nice big deep breath, Shirley. Follow the breath and see if there's any spaces that are now unlocked. Okay. I know I have the answer on my side, but I just want to check in with you, Shirley. Any places feel stuck or unable to fully expand, or does it all feel good and full expansion?
Definitely loosey goosey, probably my hips a little bit, but where it was like before it was in my heart and my chest.
Okay.
And I feel like that's lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. It does test that this limiting aversion is done. And this limiting belief of how it identified best as we could was I wish that I had a higher knowingness. Is this done? And this is also done. Okay. So I'm going to ask, for the sake of time, if there are any other primary priorities of healing here before closing this session for you. And we're also going to test recommendations here. Are there any other primary priorities of healing for you related to this? Answer that is no. It's just so beautiful, right? The timing of everything, you coming into the network, your choice, your willingness to turn the voices back on, where you're at, you seeing all the benefits that you received, the abundance of working in the warehouse, the meeting of your new girlfriend, the communication, the roles in which you served in. It's just the unfolding is so perfectly designed. And yet, even though it's perfect, I know that it came with a lot of hard, dark spaces. I know that it's been really hard, like trekking through mud for many
Mhm.
months of not just a year, but even longer than that. And I just want to acknowledge your commitment and your endurance and your not giving up and your love and the faith. And you're just an amazing human being, Shirley. And I love you so freaking much. And it's really beautiful to be. I don't get to talk to you often, but I get to witness little bits here and there. I think about you all the time, but I don't always know what's going on. But I know that you're always and always have been doing your best. And I know your heart. And I thank you for letting me be a part of the journey. and for you being willing to come back to your business, your practice. What is the name of your business?
New Consciousness Healing. So it's nchealing.love on Instagram, and that's my website as well.
Say your Instagram again.
So nchealing.love.
Great. Very soon here, for all of those who need Shirley's services, if she accepts this, you'll be able to go on to matchwithahealer.com. If you know of someone who needs energy work and be communicated to through sign language or in Spanish, she will be available to serve in this way. And if this podcast resonated with any of our listeners and you feel someone else needs to hear this, please share it and subscribe. And if you are a healing practitioner yourself or have a desire to learn how to tap into your subconscious mind, you can just download the SBT Energy Healing mobile app and learn how to muscle test for free, learn how to identify trapped emotions for free. There's also prayers in there for free. And so we give the basics of the tools to everyone for free. Shirley, I'd like to ask both Shirley and Jamie, for you, Shirley, are there any final thoughts for our listeners before we close?
Keep going. Please keep going. Please stay. Please stay. I promise you, do not make a permanent decision based off something that is temporary. And I know that it could feel temporary for years. I understand. However, it's temporary. Find your support system. Find people that love you. Because sometimes we'll find people that reiterate our old stories to ourselves, and they're not the people for you. And that could even include family, which I know is hard to hear sometimes. But it's choose you, choose life, choose love, and love everybody. Smile as often as you can. Say hi to people, be nice, be friendlier, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, that's great. I love those words. It's perfect. I love to be smiling. Even if you don't feel good, when you put a smile on your face, it signals to your body to start increasing the energy and feeling better. Even when you don't feel good. Sometimes in my worst days, I'll just make myself put a smile on my face. And then I'm like, yeah, I remember how to do that.
That's how I'm at work. Here I go.
Feeling. Yeah. I did want to say to any of our listeners that have gone back and forth on their business, right? Or gone back and forth on their purpose. And I think we've said it, but it's okay to stop doing something for a while and come back to it. It's completely okay. Sometimes when you're looking at for something for so long and you get super frustrated with it, change your view and go do something else for a while. And then that thing that you were focused on for so long will come back around and you'll have new energy for it and new intention for it and a new love for it. Like Shirley's experience, maybe walking away from her healing business for a while, and all she needed to do is show up here today. And now we've got this whole catalyst going for her again. It's something so simple and small when you take your eye off it for a minute. Feel people get caught up in the definitions of success and failure. And success is any time that you take a baby step towards anything. It's the not giving up. Like what you're saying, you're already successful when you don't give up and when you keep going. And you don't have to stay in the same direction all the time. And directions come back around. So it's important to keep that in mind. And I know for me, I used to be very type A, got to get it done. So that'd be checked off my checklist. And if I didn't do it in the time frame, then I was a failure. And that's not accurate. That's just what we're forced to believe. Yeah, that's all I wanted to throw in there.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
We thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, we invite you to please go on and leave a review and share this with someone who you think it may have resonated with. And if you want to be a guest on our podcast, just go to matchwithahealer.com. Under contact, you'll see a Be Our Podcast guest form. Submit that and we'll reach out to you.